Welcome to M Curious. Since the last moon landing, which happened in December 1972, NASA never returned to the moon. On the Apollo 11 mission, Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin landed their Apollo's lunar module and walked on the lunar surface, while Michael Collins remained in lunar orbit in the Command Service module. 5 more Apollo missions also landed on the moon. The last Apollo mission was Apollo 17, in December 1972. In these 6 last Apollo missions, 12 people walked on the moon. Since 1972 NASA never planned to land on the moon, but after 40 years, in December 2017, NASA stated a plan for the program to land the first woman and first person of color on the moon by establishing an international expedition team and a sustainable human presence on the moon under the mission named Artemis, with the hope to lay the foundation for the extraction of lunar resources, make a crewed mission to Mars and beyond possible. NASA established CLPS, Commercial Lunar Payload Services, to introduce new lander technology to deliver NASA and commercial payloads to the surface of the moon for the mission. NASA has already selected more than 24 instruments to study the moon and test new technology with CLPS flight, including Viper, Volatile's Investigating Polar Exploration rover. NASA is also developing the Human Landing System, HLS, to meet the goal of sending human on the moon. Artemis Program is a series of Space Launch Program, SLS, missions. Each SLS mission is the launch of an SLS booster with Orion spacecraft. The Artemis I SLS rocket will launch an uncrewed Orion into the Earth's orbit, and then place it on a path toward a lunar distant retrograde orbit. It will travel a total of 280,000 miles from the Earth, before returning to Earth. This flight test will demonstrate the performance of the SLS rocket. Artemis II will be the first crewed flight of SLS and Orion with 4 astronauts to the lunar environment. It will be a 10 days mission where the crew will set a record for farthest human travel beyond the far side of the moon, in a hybrid free return trajectory. It will last in that orbit for 90 minutes, with adjustment of the firing system of the Interim Cryogenic Propulsion Stage, ICPS. And then the rocket ICPS firing system will provide the thrust to raise the Orion into a high Earth orbit, HEO. It will fly in HEO for 42 hours. After reaching HES, Orion will separate from ICPS. This exploded stage will use as one final disposed of through the Earth's atmosphere. After doing most work to put the Orion into the HEO, the Orion service module now provide the last push needed to put the spacecraft on the path toward the moon. It will send the crew on a 4 days trip, around the far side of the moon and, again 4 days journey to return. After reaching the far side of the moon, Orion will be pulled back to the Earth naturally by Earth's gravity with no propulsion. And finally, it will do re-entry. Once again, Orion and its crew of 4 will travel to the moon, but this time to land first women and next man to walk on the moon's surface. The future lunar landing will use the Gateway. Gateway is the modules of the PPE and Halo, which will be integrated on the ground and launched together on a single rocket. It will act as a staging point that will allow the astronauts to land on the surface of the moon multiple times in a single mission. With help of the Human Landing System HLS, the PPE module will provide accommodations for science and technology. It will also provide electric power, control, thrust, and communication capabilities. Halo module will be the initial crew cabin for astronauts visiting the Gateway. Its primary purpose will provide the basis for life support needed for the crew. Prepare for their trip to the lunar surface. It will provide command, control, and data handling capabilities, energy storage, and power distribution, thermal control, communications and tracking capabilities, as well as environmental control and life support systems to augment the Orion spacecraft and support crew members. It also will have several docking ports for visiting vehicles and future modules, as well as space for science and stowage.